Have you ever noticed this? Some days you feel drained, and out of nowhere, you start cleaning. Not to make things clean, but to clean what's already clean. You rearrange everything, you refold clothes that were already neat, and somehow you feel better. Especially Gen X, they do this more than most. From the outside, it looks like this. They're obsessed with cleanliness. But here's the twist. Psychology sees something else. Why is it, when you're stressed, you want to control every corner of your space? And if this feels familiar, maybe it was never about cleaning. Maybe it goes deeper. Picture this. After a long day, everything feels out of control. Work piles up, your emotions are tangled, nothing feels steady. You get home, you don't lie down, you don't turn on the TV, you don't scroll your phone. Instead, you start wiping the kitchen, folding clothes, fixing the smallest details. And strangely, with every little thing you organize, something inside you softens. Most people will say, it's just a habit, or they just like things clean. But that doesn't explain the feeling. It doesn't explain why it shows up under stress. Here's what's really happening. This behavior isn't random. It's not just personality. It's a deep psychological response. So why, when your mind feels chaotic, do you reach for control in your environment? And why does this show up so strongly in Gen X? That's what we're uncovering. There's something unique about them. They don't clean when they're bored. They clean when something inside feels off. You've felt this before. The more stressed you are, the more you want to organize. The more out of control you feel, the more you fix what's around you. This is not random. It started in childhood. Gen X grew up differently. Less supervision, less guidance. They had to figure things out early. You came home alone, made simple meals, solved problems by yourself. No one stood there saying, this is the right way. So your brain learned something powerful. If the world is chaotic, I create my own order. This is control seeking. When you can't control the big things, you control the small ones. A desk, a room, a drawer. And suddenly, cleaning becomes a tool. Not just to clean, but to feel in control again. Notice the feeling. You wipe a surface. You see before and after. You fold clothes. Everything lines up. No blur, no chaos. In a world you can't control, this feeling is powerful. I still have control over something. And that calms your nervous system. Here's a simple example. You had a terrible day at work. Nothing went right. You come home. You can't fix what happened. But you can clean the kitchen. You can reset your room. And suddenly, it doesn't feel as heavy anymore. Not because the problem disappeared, but because you took back control. If this feels like you, maybe you were never cleaning just to be clean. You were trying to stabilize yourself. Here's something people miss about Gen X. They didn't grow up talking about emotions. No one asked, how do you feel? No one taught them to name stress or sit with their emotions. So they adapted. They don't talk it out. They act it out. You've done this. You don't say, I'm exhausted. You just start cleaning. No explanation, no analysis. Your hands move, and your mind goes quiet. This isn't random, it's emotional regulation. Instead of words, they use movement. Instead of expressing chaos, they create order. And the brain understands that. You see a clean space, your brain says, everything is okay. No logic needed, just a signal. Mess creates tension. Order creates calm. And once you start cleaning, your body joins in. Repetitive motion, steady rhythm, almost like a form of physical meditation. It reduces stress without you even noticing. That's why you feel lighter after. Not because the house is cleaner, but because your nervous system has settled. Think about this moment. You just had an argument. You don't know what to say. You walk into the kitchen. You start washing dishes, wiping the counter. You didn't solve anything, but your emotions aren't overwhelming anymore. That's the shift. You're not avoiding emotions. You're regulating them. Your way. And here's the most interesting part. You don't need to understand this for it to work. Your brain learned this a long time ago. When the inside gets loud, make the outside quiet. So if you see yourself in this, maybe you were never bad at expressing emotions. You just speak a different language. People think cleaning is just a habit or just being neat, but the truth is, for many in Gen X, it's part of their identity. They grew up in a different reality. Their parents faced scarcity, less money, fewer resources, less stability, and no one explained it. It was passed down silently. Don't waste. Keep things in order. Handle things yourself. So you learned a role. Keep everything from falling apart. It sounds big, but it starts small. Folding clothes, cleaning spaces, putting things back in place. Not because someone told you to, but because deep inside, if I don't do this, everything will fall apart. This is a survival identity. You're not just doing chores. You're the one who holds order, the one who keeps things stable. And that role stays with you. When life gets chaotic, you return to it. You don't complain. You don't wait, you get up, and you start cleaning. But here's the deeper layer. You're not just cleaning your home. You're telling yourself, I'm still in control. Nothing has fallen apart. And that creates safety. Because deep down, you're not afraid of mess. You're afraid of losing control. You're afraid of everything slipping away. So you do what you've always done best. You organize your small world. And if you recognize this, maybe you were never just a clean person. You're someone who learned to hold everything together. From the outside, it can look confusing. People see constant cleaning, constant adjusting, everything always in place, and they think they're obsessive, they're controlling. But that's just the surface. Underneath, it's something deeper. They're not cleaning to make things look nice. They're stabilizing themselves. They don't talk much about emotions, but they know how to calm them. They don't panic when things get messy. They start organizing, piece by piece. That's why they seem calm when others lose control. There's a name for people like this. The ones who hold everything together, quietly. No spotlight, no praise, but they're always there, keeping their world from falling apart. So cleaning was never just cleaning. It's how you restore order when things inside feel messy. It's how you stay calm when life feels out of control. And for many in Gen X, it's how they survive, silently. So next time you see someone cleaning an already clean room, maybe they're not being picky. Maybe they're holding themselves together. And the real question is, do you clean because you like things clean, or because it's the only way you feel in control of your life? If this spoke to you, subscribe for more.